Okay, Prairie, this is our November 6th walkthrough on foot. I like doing this. I like getting a video of this on foot because it can give you a really kind of a good idea, overview of how we're hoping it kind of looks there on horseback. So this is kind of a really good viewing point here. Uh, some good points and some bad points and a couple of rough points here tonight. By far, our our worst looking maneuver right now is going into the egg beater and the egg beater itself. It's kind of, maybe once we see how it's supposed to look, this is going to help us out. But I think the other part is our two circles. We're trying to make two circles with three riders each. And basically those circles almost always are looking like C's by circles. And if you think about this, it's kind of looking, it should be, as far as alignment wise, you guys should be like an isosceles triangle. You are at three equal distance points in the circle at all time. So I know like we talk about, since we have an odd number of riders, you should be looking at a hole, but these are really big holes that we're looking at. So you guys really got to place yourself out in three equal distances in these circles. As we do the circles, look at, not only are you looking at your circle and where you're sitting there, but look across at the other circle too, because remember, as you guys cross over at center, you should be crossing with your partner. I'll send a diagram out today too, kind of showing that a little bit more clearer on how the crossing and where you should be sitting. But anyway, that's our worst setup right now. Overall, like I said, as the vets know, how you walk this drill is how you're going to ride it. And we had some really good points in here, but we had a lot of rough spots in here. So hopefully that when we walk it Sunday on foot before practice, you guys can kind of clean some of this stuff up. Okay, as we're coming in here, we are single file at one horse. We're rolling back, and Danielle's side is kind of adjusting because they're going to lead, and we should be crossing offset and two straight lines going down here. Now here's our next one where I don't know why we had such an issue with this here, our 270, because you girls are doing really good in our practice on it. So I'm assuming just getting used to your spot here. But we get our 270, come across, hit the lines together, nice circles. Our box, I think the boxes are going to go really well, as long as we remember we got to turn into our box. Katrina. So we go into our boxes, and then this next maneuver, Alex and Kayla, this is going to look awesome. Just got to remember, you did it on this one here. I was thinking of the earlier one. This is going to look really awesome, but you guys are going to have to kind of kick around there and probably cut the corners to catch up to your lines. So we come down here to our offset pairs. We're doing this at one horse right now. Remember, we should be two straight lines going to the walls. All the horses hit the walls at the same time. And then if we're sitting at that one horse, we got to push up into our corner. So leaders take it deep. Everybody else is going to cut it so we get in here. Our pinwheel, girls are looking at this. Nice. Going around here pretty nice. This is going to be good. Now here's where we start getting into our problems. Coming into our egg beater. Okay, right here as we roll out, everybody has to roll out deep and get your three horse. Right now you should be coming up on three horse. And it's coming through this item right here is our three horse. We make our right turns, and we should be able to form up our circles, and they should be basically two diamonds there. You can see we've got like half circles, or C's I call them, going around here. So we really have to work on this. You really have to look at where, not only where you're at in your circle, but where the other circle's at, so you're meeting your partner on center. Okay, we're exiting this a little bit better. We'll work on that. Remember, you got to kind of go to the wall. I can see you last girls cutting it off a little bit if you have to. This the pole bending is going really good. As we exit the pole this pole bending, I want you to come straight down and get back into kind of like an interlace, and then we split off. I think that'll look really cool. That wasn't intentionally in my mind at first, but as I'm seeing this walked out last night, I think that's going to look really cool. Coming down here, we're arcing. You girls were doing this pretty good, but like I said, all unison. Have to stay in unison, in sync. Our chevron, we'll see how this in and out's going. We may change out who goes against the wall. I want to see this chevron form up nicer. Remember, we're nose to hip, and we got to be a little bit wide so we're not struggling when we get down here and do this crack. I think this crack is a difficult maneuver, but you guys are started out walking it really well. A little bit different once we get on horseback, but we're doing good there. Coming down here for our company front and going into our diamond thread. Again, this one was coming out pretty well. Remember, everybody has to go to those cones, which is center wall. You can't cut that off. Got to go to the center wall. We're at one horse. We're crossing right on tails. Nice and tight, nice and clean. And then we come around here. Remember, leaders, go to that first girder at the end and give your time. That's giving your people behind you time to form this up. Okay, we start trotting right at center. I'm going to let you go a little bit further. Then we turn. We'll turn left into our 90. Remember, it's straight lines and stirrup to stirrup, whether we stirrup to stirrup with your partner or stirrup to stirrup with our threes. But we got to keep that. It's a trotting maneuver. That's got to be super clean, super crisp. It'll look really cool. Coming down here, we're going to do our posse roll. Again, once we get all these maneuvers down. But this one here, we need to get back far enough. I may have you leaders pull this back a little bit further, because this fours is our fours maneuver. So it's got to be in a little bit long. So we need to have that fours maneuver going for a little bit. The transition into this sweep, I think it's going to work out fine. Reese, I think you're going to have this great, because like I said, you're coming from the back and hooking up, and I want that to be really smooth and really seamless. Kayla Ray, I think on this one you got this down here. This is a really cool maneuver. You got to lead this in. It just, like I said, when you make that circle, don't try making it tight. Pull out far enough that you have to make a nice smooth without losing your gait and losing your pace. And everybody will pull in behind you. I think it's going to look really good. Danielle, again, nice and tight there, just like we did at Fair. And then we're going to roll out of here, waterfall in pairs, and we're doing that on pretty good. Like I said here earlier, a lot of things you girls did really good on it. It was a great night. Some of these things, like I said, are 270. I don't know why that was so rough, because we've been doing it for the last couple weeks. But our big one is that egg beater and the circles in the egg beater. So we will obviously be doing a lot of work on that, because we got to get that clean. Everything else, like I said, there was some really rough spots. I was kind of hoping to have a little bit cleaner run at the end. But hopefully Sunday you girls do this walkthrough again. Hopefully I can be there for it so I can help you out maneuvers. But you guys also have to learn this drill. Look at it. Learn the maneuvers, because as the vets will tell you, you have to talk to each other as you're going down. As you're in the one maneuver, you're yelling out what the next maneuver is to each other. So overall, we got a lot of work to do on this, a lot of rough spots, but undoubtedly, there's no doubt in my mind that these are all workable out. So this is going to be really good. Overall, I can't wait to see you guys ride this on Sunday. Have a good week.